It has been 11 months since the PS5 Pro has hit the shelves and the market. And you know what? I stand by what I said so many months ago. The PS5 Pro is in fact an absolute, unequivocal 100% scam. It always has been. And the biggest reason why it is a scam, it's because the thing costs $700. Doesn't come with a disk drive, doesn't come with the stand, and they have yet to lower the price of the original PlayStation 5 model. In my opinion, the PS5 Pro should be at $499 and the regular PS5 should be at $299. Usually right about now, practically in every other gen, that's exactly what we would be seeing. Instead though, we've seen the opposite, where companies no longer want to take a loss on hardware and they want to maximize and charge you everything they possibly can. However, though, there's one aspect to this that a lot of PlayStation fanboys truly do not understand. They don't understand PC gaming, and it goes to show every single time, because for some reason, I don't know why, this entire thing permeates throughout the entire lifespan of PC gaming.
If you want a game on PC, you gotta spend $2,000, $3,000. That's the only way, baby. If it's not a 5090, don't buy it.
And of course, everybody else goes, what are you talking about? That's stupid. The 90 series cards are like workstation cards. They're not for gaming, they're for creating 3D Futanari Blender animations. They're not for anything else. I don't know why you guys keep buying these cards. They're just selling you on a pipe dream. But of course, there's always one. And the one this time had to be good old classic, give me that chon chon, Reforged Gaming. Back at it again with another one, baby! You see, I haven't put Reforged Gaming in a main video in a very long time. We'll cover him on live streams and things like that when he pops off, but the thing is, when he made this stream the other day and talked about PC gaming, I just, I had to intervene, because one thing I cannot stand is absolute misinformation about the platform that I truly enjoy. And that massive piece of misinformation is how much it costs to enjoy this, in fact, platform. But you see, for some reason, Reforge is still under the impression that it requires $1,200 to $1,500 of money to match a PlayStation 5 Pro. Boy, we're going to be in for a shock today. So ladies and gentlemen, strap in, get ready, because here comes a massive amount of copium and complete lack of understanding on how PC components in fact work. This one's going to be a fun one, I guarantee it.
The real question, too, has never been about the $700. It's about the difference between the base and the PS5 Pro. If you go into the store right now and you're like, I could buy a digital PS5 for $450, or I could buy this thing for $700, you're talking about a $250 price difference. If I put two PCs in front of you that were only the difference in price was only $250, do you think one of them would be running like ray tracing high fidelity modes at double the frame rate of the other PC? If I put two PCs in front of you and the difference in price was only $250, do you think the performance would be that drastic between them? Do you?
I feel like Reforged Gaming has written a book, and that book has to be called How to Speak Confidently While Being Absolutely 100% Factually Wrong. It is the funniest thing watching this dude try and cope himself to thinking that $250 is not an exorbitant amount of money or does not give you more performance for what you're paying for. Hell, look at just the GPU scaling alone. A 9060 XT MSRP is at $349, yet at the same time, a 9070 XT MSRP is at $599. Boy, $250 gets you 66% more performance, literally giving you more ray tracing, more frame rate, more performance overall, and giving you a massive increase in everything simply by adding $250. You could even apply that to many CPUs. You can go from an incredibly basic CPU to one of the most top-end CPUs to buy simply by increasing the cost of $250. This guy knows absolutely nothing about PC gaming, because all he does is buy pre-builts. So in his mind, a pre-built for $250 more bucks doesn't make any sense. But of course, that's because he doesn't know the parts being into play. Because anybody worth their salt knowing PC components knows $250 more onto a build can make a drastic change, even if you spread that across multiple components in your PC. This is literally someone who knows nothing about PC components, knows nothing about PCs in general, trying to talk about something he knows nothing about. And that's why I'm making this video, because there's so much misinformation from people like him talking about PC gaming and so many others. Come on, bro. What are we doing here, bro? That's exactly what we see all the time. It's that same kind of person, literally ruining it for everybody else. Or the console fanboys that are like, I'm going to buy a PC, but I'm going to do it the right way. And they buy a pre-built that screws them over in the type of RAM that's being used, in the power supply, in the motherboard, and they don't know the actual components. They just see the list on there and go, yup, bigger number better, $3,000. But you know who's a great partner to go ahead and check out PCs from? StarForge Systems. Link in the pinned comment down below. Shameless plug. But you can clearly see that Reforge Gaming is only looking at it from the perspective of total price versus total price. And now what you can do with $250 more if you're building a PC yourself. Even just by spreading that money across the entire build, you can easily upgrade so many parts on that end directly. And it really makes no sense why he's trying to make this argument. The problem with the PS5 Pro is in the fact that it costs $700, and right there you're already touching close to the $1,000 mark. That's before you get the disc tray, that's before you get the stand, that's before you pay for online. At that point in time, you're already kissing close to $900 all the way around.
Again, where are all those videos? All the videos that were going to show that the PS5 Pro is a scam, and they were going to show that you could build a rig for less or the same and get the same performance. None of those videos materialized because it was just a bunch of bluster. It was just a bunch of hot air. And so when you're saying, "Oh, I don't think the price justifies it," if you go into any other realm of spending more money for more performance, you are never going to get that level of a jump for $250. You're not going to. You aren't. Price out a rig right now that you really like. Just price it out. It doesn't matter where you price it. It doesn't. Price out a rig at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Just do it. Just price out a rig. And then increase your budget by $250. What's that going to do for you? What's that going to do in the realm of performance? What's it going to do? That's the comparison that nobody made. Comparing the PS5 base to the PS5 Pro is a $250 difference. Do the same thing in every other instance. Do the same thing in PC land. Do it. Give yourself an extra $250 in your budget and go to PC Part Picker and see what kind of a boost in performance you can get for $250.
I love this part of the clip because it really shows Reforge Gaming's complete ignorance in the PC landscape. Nobody has to make that video of a PC being competitive with the PS5 Pro because everybody already has the stats and the ability to see the performance of all the individual parts. We also know the components of the PS5 Pro and their PC counterparts, so it's very simple and very easy to say it'll be this piece and this piece and this piece, and that's it. And there it is. We don't have to go through and do it ourselves to build it. And no matter what anybody does, even if I were to go out and build a Potato Masher Pro like we had before in the PS4 generation, it would still not be enough for you because you would find some way around it to try and disprove whatever we're trying to do in the PC space, because you are clearly always known to move the goalpost at every single time. We see it all the time. And again, you know nothing about PC gaming because you're talking about $1,000 builds. You're talking about $2,000 builds, $3,000 builds. Yes, increasing the cost by $250 can definitely at some point give you far more performance than what you are already spending, even if it was $1,000 to $3,000. It can be a massive game changer because you don't know what PC parts in fact are, and all you look at is just a price tag on the bottom from an actual system builder, thinking that it's not going to be enough because the jump that they give you is always so drastic. That's why you're talking about these prices. But I love how we're going to go into this next because we are in fact going to build a PS5 Pro PC that is going to compete with the PS5 Pro and be competitive in pricing as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready.
Run the benchmarks for, performance in Ratchet & Clank and Forbidden West, and try to exactly mimic how well they run on the Pro, and then say, this is what you'd have to purchase. You'd have to purchase this level of a PC. I thought that would have been a great video for somebody to make. Instead of saying, can we make a PC equal for 700? Ask the question, what would we have to spend to even get there? That, I think, is an interesting discussion, an interesting video. Nobody that spoke with all that bluster and all that bloviation about the price and how it was a scam, none of them made those videos because they can't. It would be a complete invalidation of their entire worldview, their entire viewpoint, all their argumentation, all their claims would be invalidated, because it would be like, oh, you got to spend quite a good chunk of money to match this thing.
I really feel like Reforged Gaming thinks that consoles are like filled with magic pixie dust, and that like they work magically, that there's no way in hell that anybody can go around and make a competitive platform off the PC compared to a pro console. We've been doing it forever, for decades, in fact. Just because I haven't done it doesn't mean it hasn't been done already. In fact, Digital Foundry decided to do it for me. And boy, oh boy, it's so much fun to see. Here is the video from DF Clips. Now, it wasn't Ratchet & Clank and it wasn't Horizon, but it sure as shit was a bunch of other games being shown. And man, when you see them, it's going to be great to see. Here is a 9060 XT, that GPU for $349, that DF even said is pretty close to the PS5 Pro. Here it is in Black Myth Wukong, running it at 2160p upscaled on high settings with FSR 4 performance, being 2 FPS better than the PS5 Pro. In fact, the 5060 Ti is performing well above it as well. In fact, in multiple scenes, you can clearly see that the 9060 XT is outperforming the PS5 Pro in many scenarios overall. And of course, having it be on high settings with an upscaler for FSR 4. And the reason for that is because the game runs at 1080p on the PS5 Pro. You're not getting a native 4K resolution, you're getting an upscaled resolution thanks to the pisser. That's what's happening. So you're paying $250 more simply for an upscaler and prettier visuals, which really is going to be funny to see later on in this video too. In fact, here's Forza Horizon 5 on the actual PS5 Pro and with the 9060 XT as well, clearly outperforming the PS5 Pro in many scenarios overall. It's so interesting how none of us had to do the build for you or make the video, because it's already been done. We already know the specifications. We already know the parts. We don't have to do it because they're doing it for us. In fact, it's Digital Foundry, the people that you laud around all the time saying, oh, it's generational, the PS5 Pro is this, and they just suck off this company overall, when in reality what they're showing you is it can in fact be done. In fact, here's Alan Wake 2, an incredibly demanding game to run. At the same settings with ray tracing off, we are still seeing the 9060 XT outperform the PS5 Pro by about 2 to 4 frames per second. Now, the only part where the PS5 Pro beats the 9060 XT and the 5060 Ti is when ray tracing is turned on. But you see, there's a difference. There's a catch. It's kind of strange how this is showing up, right? How could the 9060 XT and the 5060 Ti get outperformed by the PS5 Pro with ray tracing? There's no magic behind this. I'll tell you what it is. It's because on the console side, the ray tracing is on settings that are lower than low on the PC. Don't believe me? In fact, John Linneman himself said it best.
But what about ray tracing? Alan Wake 2. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the quality mode, capped to 30 frames per second. Now, here's the problem. The RT setting on PS5 Pro is effectively lower than PC's low. Even so, I thought I'd give it a go. 4K output resolution using FSR2 balance mode, effectively 1270p internal then. As it is capped at 30, we aren't seeing the Pro's full power. But if we freeze frame here, we're dipping beneath 30 FPS on the console, so we have found Pro limits. You'll see that both of our PC alternatives struggle. We need that lower than low RT setup to get a true measure of how close we can get to the console experience.
So, when you are seeing a console that's costing $700, has settings of certain console games that are lower than low on the PC side, and you're trying to sit there and say it's not a scam, that $700 isn't worth it, that is an actual bold-faced lie. And we didn't have to build the PC because Digital Foundry already did the work for us. We already have the GPU that is comparable to the PS5 Pro. So we already know that's $350 ready to go off the bat. All we have to do is fill out the rest. And baby, when we get there, it's going to be a world of pain for you, my boy. Trust me.
if you're trying to act like, if you're going to try and do this retroactive thing where like, oh, well, when it first came out, it wasn't hitting those performance thresholds, it only is now because of updates. This is simply untrue. That is false. These games, you can go to Digital Foundry. When the PS5 Pro hit, they had an armada of videos that came out that showcased the performance boosts and documented how strong the device was and what you could expect from the particular games. It wasn't like, 7 months later, it got a bunch of patches and improvements. No. The people, listen. The people that tried to run like a negative narrative on the Pro and claimed it was a scam and overpriced and they claimed they could build PCs for $700, those people made claims that were simply unbacked, untrue, unfounded, and they have yet to make videos proving their claims because they can't.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I got the time. Let's go ahead and build ourselves a PC that is equivalent to the PS5 Pro, shall we? We are, in fact, in PCPartPicker.com. Let's start off with the first things first. We've got a Gigabyte B550 motherboard at $79.99. We're going to stick with the AM4 platform. It'll make things pretty simple for us and give us a pretty good price discount as well. Now, for the memory, we picked Corsair Vengeance to 8GB 6 at 3200 megatransfers per second. It is DDR4, but there's a reason for that specifically. You see, in the PS5 Pro, it's using 16 gigabytes of DDR6 RAM, but that is in fact for the APU to use for graphics. It has 2 gigabytes of DDR5 for the operating system. We don't really need DDR5 for the OS on this PC because the 9060 XT has those 16 gigs of DDR6 as well. So we're not going to have to worry about that, and DDR4 to DDR5 on this system is not going to be a factor at all, especially for the OS. We, in fact, went ahead with a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD from Silicon Power. It is a PCIe 4.0, especially after all the garbage that we saw with the entire SSD on the PS5 and the crack and compression technology. Pretty much every PC gamer telling you, stop buying into that. You pretty much just played yourselves on that one. So the SSD is the SSD. And we went 2 terabytes to match the PS5 Pro, simply because you don't really need the most high-end, fastest SSD on your PC right now. You can just basically use any SSD if you want to. But let's keep going. For the CPU, I picked a Ryzen 5 5600. The reason for that is because the PS5 Pro has a little bit higher clock speeds. Even though this is 2 cores less than the Ryzen 7 3700X, this is Zen 3, not Zen 2, which means it's going to perform better, and those last 2 cores are not going to be a massive issue comparatively when you see what the Zen 3 processor can actually do on this side, and it's a little bit cheaper as well. For the GPU, we went with a 9060 XT. Thank you to Digital Foundry, the 16 gig model. This will be more than enough to compete with the PS5 Pro and even beat it in some instances as well. So congratulations, John and guys. Thanks for the actual W. I appreciate it. For the case, it doesn't matter. I figured if we're going to do a console, we might as well go ahead and have a micro mini ATX case. It'll fit nice in any sort of compartment in your living room or even on your desk as well. We got that for around $39. And for the power supply, we went with a 600 watt 80 plus certified thermal take, and that'll put us directly where we need to be, and that'll serve us for a very long time. You don't need 800, 750, or 1000 watts with these kinds of GPUs. You should be okay. And today's total, drum roll please, is $800.35. Now I know what you're saying, Alex, that's not even close to the PS5 Pro. You're $100 over. Haha, you failed. No. You see, the one thing you have to buy when you have a console is online internet access, even though you, in fact, already pay for it. One entire year of PS Plus Essential is $80, and we're not including the disk drive on this as well if I wanted to be mean and do that to you on top of that. So we are in fact merely $20 over if we wanted to stay on the purely digital format. If you bought a disk drive for your PS5 Pro for your physical collection, we are in fact at a savings of $60, my boys. Looks like Yahimbo got the W, baby. Let's go. No! You see, when you know about PC parts, I don't have to make the video. Everybody already knew what was in fact happening. Everybody already knew these GPUs could compete and beat the PS5 Pro. Everybody already knew this because this kind of rhetoric has been going around for the last 20 plus years about PC gaming. You're not the new kid on the block who's gonna shake things up. We've had to deal with this for so long already on YouTube about people trying to overspend on PCs in the first place, and the fact that you guys and you clowns have to go around and defend consoles as if there's some sort of magic, even though they're just simply downclocked APUs made by AMD. There's nothing magical inside of them. We're doing this again because now we're seeing rumors of the PS6 being comparable to a 9070 XT. Look, again, you guys have got to stop. I can't wait for the 5090 PS6 rumors to show around, or the 5080 Ekbach Double Scorpioma Balls edition that's going to be happening as well, because you guys are like Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail. How many times do we have to do this? Oh, the Xbox One is a 1080 Ti when it wasn't. Oh, the PS4 is a 780 when it wasn't. It's just, oh God, can you guys just stop? Can you guys just stop talking about things you don't know anything about? And the better part is, because during all of this time, his chat is in fact pushing back on him. And when they push back on him, Reforged Gaming starts trying to call them out. And when this happens, it gets even better.
You've been around for a while, and I think you do know that from the very beginning, the PS5 Pro was hitting those thresholds. I think you do know. I don't think that was, it just doesn't feel genuine. It's like from the very beginning, the market was flooded with videos and evidence of what that thing was capable of. It didn't just suddenly start happening. That, I think, because I doubt I have one. So when did you start consuming my content? Because I covered it extensively. You don't remember any of those conversations about the Pro, about Digital Foundry's coverage, about its capabilities? You not having one doesn't mean you didn't see the content. My only issue with the Pro is the missing vertical stand. They know the console is meant to stand up and the vertical support is needed. The price was dictated by current market tech specs. You were getting into PC at that point. Well, if you genuinely didn't see any of those videos, they're all available. You can go back and you can see Digital Foundry had hands-on with a crazy amount of games, and they had nothing but high praise. It was not at all something that came later or something. Chat history is a thing on Twitch. Well, we've only been on Twitch since April, and that's when he started following me. I feel like my gut is he got banned on YouTube. I recognize the name.
And now we are going around and trying to blame our own viewers and our own chatters for pushing back on what we're saying. You were the one who said this is all facts, it's not opinions. You were the one who was objectively wrong about the entire thing. And when your own viewers push back, the first thing you come to is, you didn't see my content, you didn't see Digital Foundry, you didn't see any of this stuff, I might have banned you before, and you're just trying to bait me right now. No, bro, you were the one spewing direct misinformation the entire time. And it's insane to see. Brother, just admit it. You can, in fact, build a PS5 Pro capable PC that even beats it at some points for around the same cost as you would buy a PS5 Pro with either the disc drive or just having the digital version with just a year of PS Plus. That's what happens. There's a $20 difference if you were to do either one. And I don't even need to have an operating system because I can simply use Linux, Bazzite, or SteamOS in replacement of Windows, where the majority of my games will in fact work. That's how it is, boys. The entire era of you guys trying to get a better deal by buying a console is over. The thing is, even though GPU prices have increased, console prices have also increased. You could have made the argument of the PS5 Pro, and I would have been totally cool with it and not call it a scam if it was in fact $499, and PlayStation would have just taken the L and sold it at a loss. Instead, they're charging you sticker price for it. So in reality, getting that close to $800 or even $1,000 in that ballpark makes no sense, because for those extra $250, you can get a monster PC. I can simply switch out the 9060 XT and get a 9070 XT and be well into already next generation in terms of performance and even fidelity of what you can get right now in the PS5 Pro, negating your entire clip, negating your entire argument, and me exposing you of you knowing nothing about PC gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Look, the one thing I cannot stand is this wild, insane infatuation with console gamers trying to talk about something they know nothing about. I don't know everything about PC gaming either, but at least I'm going to go around and look around on what I can find to try and put together what I think would fit in terms of what a PC can do. At the moment in time right now, AMD is being incredibly competitive, and a lot of my friends have switched over to Team Red. But again, AMD is in fact not perfect. They are, of course, NVIDIA's like I've called out before. The thing is, though, the idea of the console being the saving spot where you can get good performance for a cheaper price is vanishing before your eyes. A Pro model should not cost $700 base before the disk drive, before online, before the stand. That is a ridiculous thing to ask for. With all those three extra things added, that's an extra $180 charge on top of what you already purchased, putting you in the ballpark of almost $900 for a system, a console to play video games at a slightly better fidelity on a 4K TV when you're simply just upscaling it through PSSR. If you're going to spend $800 to $900, again, you might as well get yourself a PC. Link in the description down below for Starforge Systems. And that's what really angers me the most, is the complete misinformation of people using pre-built systems trying to go ahead and compare those to an actual custom-built PC that anyone can do on their own, because there are full-on instructions and guides on how to do it. And yeah, so I'm incredibly sick and tired of it, and we're going to be seeing this kind of thing happen over and over again. But you know what? I'll be here to shut that shit down. So as always, if you liked today's video, thank you, and if you didn't like it, fuck you. If you want to see more of this kind of content, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams every Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 89,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or emotes during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. If you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live here on this channel. The streams are insane as I get insulted with AITTS for about 4.5 to 5 hours, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Just stop. Just stop. Stop. No. Just stop. You're a fucking idiot. This is stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Just stop. Just stop.